Hello, everyone. This is Ben Parrott, and this is my presentation regarding the family culture assignment. So, jumping right into this, I'm taking a look at some of the roles. Now, the roles in my family are a little bit different, maybe compared to, the average family, if you will. We're the old kind of saying, being the man of the house. That's really my mom. My mom is actually really the leader within our household. She's a very strong woman, very organized, and does a great job. She's got a house with four men now. She does a really good job of rallying the troops, getting everybody to where they need to be on time, on task. So she does a really great job of that. And that's not to diminish my dad's skill set, as obviously he handles some very important things. Looking at the financials, my dad's a financial advisor, and so he takes a lot of pride in handling financials, college funds, retirement funds, all of those important things that your family really needs to take care of. Him and my mom do a really great job of kind of separating these jobs, separating these roles, and letting the other kind of excel in their own domain. My mom, a labor and delivery nurse, so right up her alley is the medicine. It aligns well with being the leader of the house. She's got a very flexible schedule. She was able to be home while we were growing up. She's able to be home now when we need her. She did a really great job of keeping everybody healthy and staying on top of those sorts of things. And on that same mantra, my dad's really the peacemaker. My mom, yeah, obviously as a leader has to be very vocal. There's a lot of, sometimes there's an unpopular decision when you got a house full of, five leaders really who are all chomping at the bit sometimes. So my dad does a really great job of kind of making sure, peace stays in the house and whether there's an argument or a disagreement, it doesn't blow up into something unnecessary or excessive. Looking at the three kids here. So me and my brothers, Lucas, one of my brothers, is the intelligence. He's the smart one of the family. There's no doubt about it. Any relative question, anything regarding school, I've had him peer edit some of my college papers. That's right up his alley. Andrew is the twin brother of Lucas and kind of the polar opposite. Not to knock his intelligence, but he's less serious than Lucas, right? He's the comedic relief. All families really need to have that, so he does a great job of that. And I kind of view my role as the soldier, and what I mean by that is they kind of roll me out on the front lines, and I'm kind of, the guinea pig of the family, just kind of experiencing life for my brothers and for my parents in the lens of a young adult today. So I think that I kind of, embody that role of, sometimes I've got to wear one on the chin and kind of let everyone learn from my mistakes or my experiences in order to keep us going. Taking a look at a couple of our family traditions. Now, ours are again a little quirky, as probably most families are. Starting off with pizza on Christmas. This is one that started about 8 years ago with my house family here. So my parents, my brothers. Christmas Eve handmade pizzas has become a really, really big thing for us. So, that's been a super big tradition that we spend a lot of time on and we really look forward to every year. So that's a great one. Holiday nights at Greenfield Village. You may have heard of this. This is kind of an event they put on at the Henry Ford kind of throwback village that makes you feel like you're in the 1800s. We've made a yearly trip, I think, for about 12 years now. That's a big tradition for us. So a lot of holiday thing here, and then rounding out with another holiday tradition as I get out of your way here. The Memorial Day celebration is one that's actually been before our family. So kind of my extended family, my ancestors have really taken pride in throwing this all-out bash on Memorial Day. Live music, lots of food, celebration, games. It sounds like the cliche, party, but it's really more than that when you go and you experience just the history and the veterans within my family who are honored on that day. It's always a really, really cool tradition for us. Taking a quick peek at where we came from, while we're really Michigan based, start off in Leslie, Michigan, where my mom's from. There is some Cherokee Indian within our heritage. There's not a whole lot, but it's definitely something worth noting as it comes from my dad's side. Lansing, Michigan, where a lot of us were born in that hospital. Me, Andrew, and Lucas. I mean, by a lot of us, really all three of the kids. Born in Lansing, grew up in Jackson, and now are settling in Spring Arbor. So, and this is where a lot of my ancestors came from, kind of moving along the same route between Leslie, Spring Arbor, Jackson, kind of all in that same area. It's been pretty easy to track where everybody's been, driving by some old houses. The importance to me to keep this going is it's extremely important. I think when you lose where you came from, you kind of have no idea where you're going. That's kind of the way I look at it. So I think it's really important to not only carry these traditions myself as I kind of move into adulthood and hopefully start a family of my own, but also making sure my kids and their kids understand the importance of why I took those traditions so seriously and all of that stuff. So I think that information is extremely important. Now take a look at the cultural iceberg. Looking at the holidays, while we have the Memorial Day celebration, we also leveled up with the 4th of July. Now, 4th of July is kind of more than just our family. It's family, friends, and a whole neighborhood where it's like, this is a little bit more than just your average 4th of July party. Like we are really ramping it up and showing our appreciation. Then when it comes to performance within my family, we are sport junkies. So our theater, our canvas is sports. So a lot of us, my parents, my brothers, myself, all aim to or play college sports. That's been a huge aspect of our family growing up. Taking a look at some of the deeper parts of the iceberg, attitude and respect right off the bat. You could tell as my mom, as the leader, she instilled that respect. It's crucial no matter who you're talking to, where, what's going on. Respect, great attitude, positive energy is crucial and it's vital within our family. And then lastly, last thing today is the decision making. My mom gave us a keychain where I can't say the expletive on it, but it says don't do stupid. It's all about making good choices, making smart decisions, doing the right thing, and having high integrity because it's bigger than yourself. It falls on your family, your teammates, your peers, all of that is super important. So attitude, respect, decision making are huge aspects of our family, and it's something that we aim to honor every single day. So that'll wrap it up for my presentation. This is our family. This is the culture of my family, and I hope to continue it on for the rest of my life.